Hi gang, this is Mel and I'm just in for lunch on a cold winter day. It's kind of snowy and pretty cold outside yet, and wanted to answer some questions that I've had a lot lately as our show season is approaching and people are working toward that, and then also from clients and different people that I give lessons and clinics to. And that's about bits. There's always a lot of question about that when people want to be working their horse or when they want to attend a show about what's legal and what's not. So I just wanted to start out with the basics and things that I see that people get wrong or have misconceptions about. And one of the things I want to say is there's a lot of different types of bits. The main categories would be snaffle, which is kind of what I think of as the beginning or the basic bit that we would put a horse that's in kindergarten per se in. And then certainly in shows either 3 and under or 5 and under, depending on the circuit and the type. The mechanics of the snaffle and the curb bit are the same amongst all the breeds. The science on how it works the same no matter what breed of horse that you have, and it's named the same no matter what breed of horse that you have. So we mentioned snaffle and we've mentioned curbed bits, which are leverage bits, and then there's another class that we would have, which would be the hackamore, and that would include bozals and then many of the different hackamores that we would see. Those would not have a metal piece in the horse's mouth. And then there are some combination bits that might be a combination thereof. So those are kind of the basic categories of bits. And then I just want to go over briefly what the basic snaffle bit should look like and some misconceptions in the naming. So the basic snaffle bit will have this shape and form. You can see here that they would have a ring piece, and there's varied types. There's your O-ring, D-ring, which would look like the letter D essentially, egg butts, which is kind of what would be pictured with this piece, and there are several other full cheek snaffles that could be in that category, but that would take a whole video to explain those pieces as well. But just note that this part here where you would clip your reins to would be called the ring, and then the cheek pieces, which are not on all of them, but it would be on the D's, and the egg butts are right in here. And then the mouthpiece in the middle here is what is actually inserted into the horse's mouth. Now that can be pretty much any shape or form. You might have a single joint, you might have a double joint, you might have a lozenge, it might be a straight across bar, which would be a mullen mouth, and those are all acceptable pieces, okay, for a snaffle bit. The important piece is this is the bit that we would start young horses in, okay, or the type of bit. Because it has a 1-to-1 pressure. So if I pull on this ring with my rein and put on 1 pound of pressure, then the horse is going to experience 1 pound of pressure in their mouth. When we move up from that to the next category of bits, which would be the curb bit that we have pictured here, we get some more pieces that come into play. And again, the mouthpiece, or the piece that fits inside the horse's mouth, is going to be any shape or size or form that you want to take. There's all variations, and what's legal or illegal is always the question. So that's where you want to read your rule books on. This shows a port in the mouthpiece, and that's just a place that has a little bit of elevation in the center of the mouthpiece. You'll see that they have the rings on this particular curb bit. That's not on every piece. What defines the curb bit or makes it different from the snaffle is the addition of the shank here. Whenever you add a shank to a bit, you add leverage to that bit. And just like we were taught in science or physics class, you know, about lever arms, the length of that shank is going to increase the power that you have over that horse's mouth, okay? No matter what piece is in the middle, if you put your reins on this bottom ring piece and use the shank piece of this bit, you have leverage over that horse, whether it be, a short shank, which you see in a lot of places, or a longer shank that yields a lot more leverage for that horse's mouth. Also, in these curb bits, we tend to use a chin strap, which will be another pressure point or a curb strap that will act upon that horse's face. And then we have a few other pieces that are included on this diagram, including the purchase, which is the difference between here and here, and then this, the whole length becomes the cheek piece, okay, in this bit. And here at the very top is where we would attach the head stall in a curb bit. So again, just a short little video to go over the basics and the differences between the curb bit, which has a shank and acts on leverage, and the snaffle bit, which has no leverage because there's no extender or arm or lever arm for the bit to act on. It's one-to-one pressure, and it has a ring system of some sort that you would attach your rein to. It's all on one level, where the curb bit is not all on one level. So those are the basic differences for our clients and friends. We'll make some other short videos, and not this one isn't essentially that short, but we'll make some shorter videos to explain more differences as we go along. Thanks.